We left off working on Instamat. So, for some reason, hello, Ariso. This ain't bacon. Not bacon. Don't know why. Don't know why. It ain't bacon. Maybe my displacement is backwards. Let's see. No, then this would be flipped. Still pointed the right way. Excuse me. Oh, man, my toe is... I stubbed my toe. Stubbed my toe, everyone. It hurts. It hurts. I won't hop into VR chat right now because I'm going to be baking, and I think it'll just crash one of the programs, so we'll wait till we get this sorted out. Still have no idea why it's just so fucking slow. It's just really, really slow baking here. Got my high poly here. Got my cage. I'm also working on stuff right now. I'm fixing the delay the air horn can have. Excuse me. Our back faces is on. Average normals. Relation, we've got cage. Maybe don't use cage mesh. Let's see. I'm just gonna try baking one more time before switching over to X normal. Maybe I should import the files into Blender after this as well. Just double check everything's sized properly. Loading still. Repeat for all, replace existing. Okay. So now, it didn't bake anything. Why? Let's make a new file. We're going to import all our FBX files. And voila. This should be working. Everything's in the right spot. Okay, so something's wrong with that. So let's do our other baking solution. We're going to use our... I've also had trouble with this one, so... I wonder if it's my computer. I mean, that'd be weird. Never had trouble with substance in that regard. Anyway, so I'll add a mesh. This is our high poly mesh right here. So we add that. We got a low definition. And we're going to add our... Oh, this is the wrong thing. Remove from list. Clear all meshes. And clear here. All right. Back to here. Add mesh. Products. Spellbook v2. Bake. Necro cover. We have the low poly. Right here. And it needs a cage. Here. Boom. Gotcha. All right. Now, baking options, we're going to do just normal map. We're going to generate. Hello, Nammers. Welcome. Sure. Interesting. Let's go back to, I messed up the export here. Yeah, should be baking here. Necro cover. We have the bake. We'll do the files. Bake. Textures. Baked textures. Necro cover underscore. Save. Okay. Why? Let's say discard backface. And it's going to yell at me again. Maybe not. Why is so much of this broken? Man, I've had so much trouble baking. Really considering getting substance again, because I just was not having these kinds of issues with it. And once again, it looks like the normals got corrupted. This time on the high poly. It has to be the high poly because of how many artifacts there are. Okay, so something about my export. So let's go back here. Go to spellbook. Again, it's just the high poly that's broken, I believe. We'll do all of them. I export here with substance painter applied. In the geometry, we apply modifiers. Triangulating might be the way. Including tangent space. Okay, so save that. Back to X normal. Ooh, I'm sleepy. Okay, one more. It's gonna yell. Still super crunched. This one's not even rendering right here. This junk. Ay, ay, ay. Okay. Do we need to use FBX files? Maybe FBX is the problem. Let's remove this from the list. Or no. Go back really quick. Add mesh. Drop that high poly in. Base texture, no, I don't want that. Smooth normals, use exported normals. What other options do we have? Average normals. I'm gonna say average the normals. And let's try that again. It's something about the normals either getting corrupted or this. The high poly model radius is less than 2 units. Please scale it up a bit if you get bad results. All right. We got something a lot better now. Still looks weird though. And that would be because the other mesh also does have corrupted normals. They're just much bigger. So we would get these bigger artifacts as they break. Because we can actually, if we look at it closely, it's clear that it's actually a grid that is triangulating. Okay. So it must be that instead of use exported normals, we have to use average normals. And yeah, yell at me again. Yes. There we go. Okay. All right, that looks a lot better. But does it look right? Next question. Does it look right in Instamat? I feel like it could do with some scaling to the left and right. This feels kind of thin. Okay, good. Now we finally had a good bake. That took a while. We're gonna go to Instamat now. That took a while. Take our normals, drag them into normal tangent, make mesh. No, just want to look at it. Just want to look at it. All right, we see some issues. Yeah, it's very soft on the top. That and dark on the bottom. So there are still things going wrong here. Unless that's the... That could be the geometry itself, though. That may not be the bake. Does the bake have that similar issue? So we'll go... Oh my god. No, even without it, we still see it. Okay, so that is something wrong with the mesh. I think we'll need another subdivision or bevel the edge. Okay, that's good to know. So then we'll save that. I'll go to my low poly. Yeah, we can see it here. Okay, good. If that's the case, bevel it. Now we got nicer normals. Still a little fucked though. See, because we can see that. Oh no, these are fine. Something. What is it again? My NVR chat, not while I'm baking, not while I'm baking things. Weighted normals. There we go. That's what we need. I think. But I will be once I'm working on the next sculpt. Or the next, I won't be a sculpt today. So let me double check my, nope, don't need that. Can I refresh this mesh? Should look different. All right. I guess when I make a new layering, it's because it must have not selected package resource prior to this. All this necro cover. All right. The normals are fucked. All right. Why is it so bad? Ay, ay, ay. I just would like to work on this, please. Why is it so difficult right now? This looks great. Geometry, we have to include tangent space. I don't know. Interesting. Mesh format, is that an option in here? No. Motherfucker. Just load. Holy shit. It's still busted. Hello, bro. Welcome. Why would it be working here? Broken in the other. If I turn this off and export it. Okay. So I have to re-import it and then literally reopen it. Just really wants to hold on to the previous version. Annoying. Okay. So now, with writing to the face data, right. I'm gonna get rid of Arisa. Finally fixed the delay this thing had. I really hate Unity animator controllers. There's certainly a lot to be desired. And very little follow through on Unity's end. Still broken. does not like my object. It must be edge smoothing. What happens if I import it right now? I save this, new file, file, import. Okay, so it's the way I'm exporting it. It's not Instamat's fault. So I'm here, make sure it's exporting normals. Okay, so with weighted normals, you have to export with edge normals. All right. Learning. So now, when I go back to package, import, re-import from, and then I think it's re-imported, but now I have to reselect it. Something. There we go. Looks pretty much the same. Still getting this soft fall off here. There's just not enough geometry for it. There is not enough geometry for it. Okay. I mean, the system is good, but there are a lot of things it doesn't tell you. For example, no one tells you at the default delay in the animation doesn't have at least 2 keyframes. Yeah. I think the curse of software in general is just someone built it to their own expectations, and they didn't communicate it to you. And that fucks my edges, doesn't it? I have to redo the whole bake now. My normals still suck. Why do they suck so much? Don't they just look really bad? I don't know if you guys can see this, but there's this really soft fall off right here. How do I get rid of that? I don't want that. I would like. That's. Even when I weight the normals, we still get a little bit of that. But it is better. It is better. I think. Still see it though. Okay, now that does look better. Okay, good. Nice. All right, that took way too long. But look at our book. That looks pretty good. Oh, thank you. So now we need to see if we can bake some other stuff. We need a mesh ID would have been great. Convexity. I don't know what convexity is. Or a derivative map. Recent method of bump mapping that does not use tangent spaces. Better than normal maps? Apparently. That's what it seems to be implying. Alright. 4K by 4K, bucket size, anti-aliasing 1. Maybe 2 times. And we'll bake them. And we'll bake them. Sorry, forgot I muted myself. It is using my GPU now. But we're telling it to harden normals instead of smoothing them on the low poly only. If it ends up doing anything. Oh, I need a nap. That does not look good. How goes the baking? The struggle. This is way slower than my CPU. I was expecting it to be faster. So, baking options. Set it back to default bucket renderer. Turn off the height map. That one was really slow. Yes, and yes. I wish I could. Didn't have to do that every time. Look how fast that is. That was so much faster. And it's better. It actually looks good. See some... Oh, well, it crashed, though. Why is baking so awful? Oh. A lot faster. But it crashes. What can I do to prevent that? It's probably the preview. Download this and add it to my avatar's thumbnail, so I no longer get confused when switching to the PC version, only version, or the cross-platform version. Nice. Smart. Switch the environment to unlit, and then try baking again. GPU. High poly. The GPU was a lot faster. And let's turn off super sampling as well. Suppose this is the value we are paying for in Substance Painter, saving us so many headaches. Yes, that's definitely the main benefit, I would say. Now it's taking forever again. There was an error. Hey. Interesting. It still didn't do the ambient occlusion though. Okay, so it's the ambient occlusion settings and the normal settings that are broken. Everything else works fine? Or is it because I already had those assigned? Switch back to PBR. Okay, this is the bake from Instamat directly. That's certainly looking a lot better. Still kind of low res. That's an improvement. So let me unattach all of these. Set it back to unlit. I don't know how important the unlit is. It's probably the super sampling that made the biggest difference because we turned that off. I would like to do 4K, please. And let's close everything. I mean everything. Gonna crash. Three, two, one. I see that you're struggling. It makes me reflect. It'll be worth it to figure out what's going on. Because honestly, I had a lot of trouble getting Substance Painter to bake in the past too. There's a lot of little tiny problems that it doesn't warn you about or crashing and stuff. So it was a process for that one too. If I had problems with Substance Painter, that's what I'm saying. And I'm saying I did. It's probably more a reflection of my graphics card though than anything else. NVIDIA. I've got a 2080. So it's a little older. Definitely due for an upgrade. 4070, yeah. Yeah, I have about a quarter the virtual memory. Or less. And it does appear that it is the super sampling that's the issue. Ah, fuck. Spoke too soon. Spoke too soon. I wonder if I need to close the stream to bake. Nothing selected. Windows Mesh Baking. Select the local file. High poly. GPU 4K. No super sampling. Saving in PNG. Average normals. Okay. CPU 4K with no super sampling. This will take a lot longer, but it should work. That's going pretty quick. Mesh baking. Come on, Schwartz. Come on, Schwartz. Saw that bar move. I saw it move. He moved again. Oh, oh, my toe. Stubbed my toe bad earlier. Turned right into the wall and just kicked it. It was just my little pinky toe, too. I should not open that. Oh, here we go. Huh. Interesting. That's a bummer. It's still not baking some of the maps. We've got the curvature looking good. Ambient occlusion doesn't bake. Mesh ID bakes. Normal tangent does not bake. Normal space. Normal world space bakes, though. Hmm. Weird. Looks like it's baking the wrong thing, too. We get a little dot right there. Just a little smudge. This setting depends on how your render or slash engine computes the tangents. Okay. We want those all off. Isn't that weird? It's baking just fine. I'm gonna outward ray length, 100%. Bake. Ba, ba, ba. Ah. Still slow. But it is about as fast as X normal. So, because I want to bake height maps, and X normal is really slowing down on the height map. So I just have to rely on CPU because it's just my graphics card that's crashing. The CPU's graphics card and the super sampling. Those two together consistently crash, or either of those. Now it seems we can make it through no matter what. We at least bake. Just good. Good. And we would rather bake an Instamat, mainly because they have that mesh ID map, and that's going to make a lot of things we want to do much easier to do. But it still didn't bake them, did they? Okay. So that leaves me with the final option. Mesh baking. Just turn up inward length. Oh, of course, outward. I actually thought I was doing the inward ray. This inward would be the ray towards the mesh. Okay, bake again. We're chilling. Oh. Oh. Suffix no cage mesh found in target mesh. In target mesh? In target mesh? Does it have to be included with it? Almost there to finish this air horn. I did show it to a friend. She loved it already, but I'm concerned because this thing is genuinely annoying. I don't know if I should be releasing the weapons of war to the world. Well, you can give yourself a slider to turn down the volume. You know, make a little, at least so it's not, you have a little more control over how intense it is. Little tiny air horn. Boop. This better be the solution. This better be the solution. It better be. It better be. It's gotta be, because I can see a little piece of the mesh coming through. Could have baked this at a lower resolution to test. That would have been smarter. Finally got the Avi textured and tail animated. Let's go, Nammers. Let's go. Let's go. Ooh. please work? Balls. It still does not want to bake the normals or the ambient occlusion. But it's funny because I can see little specks, just little specks of normal map here and there. What is the issue? All right, first let's turn this down. We're gonna do 256. No, 128. No super sampling. PNG's fine. Ambient occlusion settings. Ray length and percent. 100%. Oh, right. No, we had the most important clue. The cage. Cage is not available to it. It said something in here. Cage mesh suffix underscore cage specified, but no cage mesh found in target mesh. Found in target mesh. It wants it included in the mesh? Seems weird. And this is my target mesh, the low poly, so I have to include it in there? Okay, so let's what we'll do is package those together. We'll go in here, or no, we'll make a new file actually. Delete it. We'll do file, import FBX. We'll take both those files, import, and then export FBX here. And we'll call this Necro Cover Baker. Close that. Go back here. Target mesh. Okay, so we have to close this. Go to our package, assets. No, right here, Baker. Drop that in. Now we have our meshes. We'll open up change mesh. Now for the scariest part, like seams. They should have the same material. No, it's because I'm importing them separately. Baker. Export, save. I need to save this. We will re-import. And change the mesh. Now it's the same material. And then we go Windows Mesh Baking. Now this is the Baker, the high poly CPU. We'll do 256, no, 128. And we'll bake. Sam, I finished it. Take a look at for creative advice. What do you think? Let's take a look. And then we can switch back to this one. And still fucking nothing. I can't believe that. But this time, actually nothing. Interesting. I don't know. Amazing. Powerful. Very powerful. Maybe it's just too low res. I don't know. 512. Wait, did I still get... no cage mesh could be found. Okay, so... Oh, wait. Free for all replace. But I had the wrong one up. Okay. We are getting it that time. Okay. Don't open the baker. Redo it with this one. Use cage mesh normals. Still busted. Still not baking the whole thing. Okay. That's fine. But on this one, it is getting the cage. Or is it? No. Yeah. No, it's still not getting the cage. Okay. So there's no point in using this baker here. I'm going to remove it. Go back to this one because it actually doesn't make a difference. It's still not finding it. So I would assume that this would work. Necrocover.fbx. But maybe... rename. Why does it want it to be _1? And then if I rename this one, page, or no, 1 _. Okay. Rename. Because my guess is that it's actually the .fbx that's fucking it up at this point. That's my only real guess. No, I want this one to be the file. There's no file now. Delete. I had to restart the stream. This is so weird. It's... Oh, why can't I just actually give it a file? I don't want to use a suffix. Just let me get a file. I just want the file. Okay, but I am referencing a package. Let me pick this one instead. So now we're both using packages. Still not working. All right. What a waste of fucking time. But it's so weird because we can see that it works on some of them. Why would it work on some, but not others? Um, and again, it has to be. Oh, why did it scroll up again? It has to be that it can't find the cage. No cage mesh found in target mesh. Instamat can't find cage mesh. Next prop I'm going to make is a bubble tea asset with a straw. This allows you to do a slurping sound, which will probably be very annoying but funny at the same time. Well, usually I find with things like that, it's just like how many times it's done. But, you know, as long as you're not overdoing it, it should be fine. Sets the mesh name suffix used to determine if a mesh is a target. Mesh is a source.
This is a quick tutorial on how to export something out of Blender and bake and import it into Instamat. So I've got my high mesh here and my low mesh here. They're named and that as you want. So then you as is, and we'll see what happens. And I bake, it's so fast. The baking is astonishingly fast. Now we got our bake, and it looks pretty good, but there's some weird stuff going on. You can really see it in the normals here. Little diamond shape happening here, and the tops of the bolts are getting cut off. That's because our rate links are painted. And the materials. More nickel. Drop that. Export.
I just don't use the cage at all. Next part. Oh, I read that. Cage mesh suffix. And of course. So strange for it to bake everything else. But the ambient occlusion and the normal. The two I really need. I don't really need any of the other ones. I can work with anything else. Targeting mode, all source meshes by mesh name. Fine, let's try that. It's not going to do anything. Average normals. Gonna do that. That might be it actually. No. Again, we do get something baking. There is a little bit of something there. Go back to my skull. I don't think I have the bake settings anymore, saved anymore. No. Cage. Why wouldn't it see it? It keeps saying not in target mesh. How to make it in the target mesh? Let's just keep do YouTube. Insta Matt. Bake.
All right, this is a quick tutorial on how to export better luck with. So let's export. You can interfere with it and crazy stuff. And we're gonna output in 5.
That doesn't give me anything. No cage mesh. Can I just fucking copy this whole name? Use this name. Oh, maybe I need to put .fbx. It's probably that simple. Interesting. I should have been here baking. That it's just that. .cage fbx. Bake. Does it want? Um, the cage mesh should be in the same file as the target mesh and contains the underscore cage suffix in its name. So it literally needs to be in the main mesh that I'm baking with. That seems weird. Why do I need to do that? Then my baker should have been working, I think. No, because that point, it is the object name that's important. Okay. So, what we need to do, go to our spell book. Need to duplicate this, turn on displace, then name this underscore cage. And export this whole thing to necro cover. Export, save. I'm going to do that one more time, actually. I'm going to turn this off, export just this one into the FBX. And then turn these both on, export both of these into Baker. Because I don't know how you're supposed to work on it when it's, yeah, doesn't matter. The Baker. All right. Now, mesh baking, bake. Because before, when I tried that, I was foolish and assumed that the file was going to come in. It says it still didn't find. Oh, no, it's because I left the FBX there. Hello, Poke Artist. Hey, I'm so excited. Hey, it's good to hear. What are you excited about? Constructed valid cage mesh with one sub mesh. It still didn't bake the fucking textures. Or maybe it did. Maybe it did. Maybe it did. Now we can go back to the other object. Still didn't bake anything. What is going on? We have our baker. Mesh baking. This time it loaded it. We're baking to the high poly. Baking. Motherfucker. What are you excited about, Nog? I wonder. Let's try one more thing. Let us get rid of our high poly. Save all this. Go into. We'll make a new object. GeoNode, new. Drag in the book. And just say apply. Instance to mesh or realize instances. Apply. Okay, so now this is just one object, which totally fucking defeats the point to be of one obj. That is it. Instamat you're trying to bake with? Yes, yes, it is. I think what I have to do is use bake by name and use a naming convention, because that seems to be what it really respects. This didn't really need to bring it into the project, but we'll try that. But now it's just one object, just one solid object. There's no, because it seems like it's just ignoring sampling everything else, and it is still sampling, but just one object. I would guess the topmost object. So in this case, if it is only sampling one object, now it has to sample a merged object with everything. Wow, it's not. Come on, Instamat. Ugh. That guy was like, "Oh, baking with Instamat's so fast." And I'm like, really? Really? Is it though? Is it really though? All right, Instamat, come on. That cannot have been a harder object to load than I already had the high poly object in there. Why is it so much slower? Doesn't matter, because we don't need to bring the high poly in to bake it. We can reference it from a local file instead. Okay. And we have the cage, it's in the project, good to go that way. I don't think averaging or using mesh normal is going to change anything. It looks to me like it is just sampling only one object for certain maps and ignoring others. And they can't have inverted normals because I'm remeshing. Like that would automatically calculate the normals for me. I mean, I guess I could just take a little quick look by going into Blender. And doing face orientation. Yeah, that's all solid. Okay. Or I exported the whole project, but it wouldn't be that much bigger. It wouldn't even be that much bigger. Okay, let's go. What's going on, Instaman? You are just so fucking slow right now. Just in case. Like it's dense, but it's not that dense. It's not that dense. Look, it's smaller than the other one. Better fucking work. What a disappointing afternoon getting stuck fucking in baking hell. Wow. Finally. I cannot believe how long that took. I actually am stunned that it should not take that long. And it still didn't even work. It was baking better without the cage. I don't think it loaded that file. I think it just didn't load it at all. It is looking for tangents. No tangents. No tangents. Maybe that's it. Does cage work differently in Instamat or something? I guess. I don't really know. Suppose I'll call it a day when it comes to this work day. I finished that product faster than I expected. One day to make that air horn can. Hey, I will still be here though. Sounds good, Arisa. Okay. We're gonna do it again. So then we'll pick a package file. We'll drop back in our normal high poly. I'm gonna delete this one because I don't need it anymore. Interesting. There's something. Yeah. Didn't have a problem with that. I can see the high poly right there. Look, it's got the preview. Targeting mode, all source meshes. Determines how meshes are targeted during the bake. Yeah, and I want everything in the source to be baked. Did something, but not the right thing. And it's not getting any of the detail this time. I go to back to cover. So this is no cage will be in this one. But then again, now I am getting it to bake, but not all the maps. Just doesn't want to bake some of them. What the fuck? What is actually happening here? Let me try GPU. Okay, so it's some sort of CPU bug. See, this is what should be happening. Okay, and then the other question is, with my cage file, does it work with the cage on this one? Maybe it just actually can't bake those maps without it. Okay, so that works too. It works fine with the cage. So it is just the CPU baker. Huh. All right. So how big of a file can I bake the GPU? Okay, 1024 is fine. That looks good. I mean, when it actually works, it does it well. It's going to be the time to ask, for the default expression I want my Avi to have, should I have modeled them with that expression, or can I apply a default expression in Unity somehow? I would probably use VRC Fury for any expressions. So they have a gestures component you can add. And I believe one of them can be a default expression. So I'll send you this here. But just like I was making toggles, you can also make a gestures component and just put in either your blend shapes, or you can put in anything really for a gesture. And it's a lot easier to manage because then you don't have to make your own custom animator. You don't have to use any animators. Talking about the gestures module, specifically the idle gesture for both hands. Exactly. So you can have any of them. You're going to trigger it with any combination. Use high combo gesture expression instead. Oh. Either one is definitely better than just making your own animator. So I just said the expression I want is the neutral open hands pose. Exactly. Neutral is the slightly relaxed one. Open is your hand actually open. Neutral is like it's a neutral pose. But you can use the gesture manager to or the Avatar 3 emulator, or just the Avatar emulator in play mode to test. So once you set up the VRC Fury component, add in one of those emulators, enter play mode, and then you can see. Because the Avatar emulator is the only one where you can, I think, manually select your gestures. All right, but this is working now. I think I'll probably end the stream here because I do want to try a 4K bake for this, but I'm guessing that the stream is what's causing it to crash. I think it needs my full system resources in order to bake. So we're going to call it here. I'm going to shut down the stream, get this book to bake, but it is looking quite good. I am pleased with the results we're having. And I think now that I know what to expect with Instamat, we have everything we need. We do have everything we need. It's looking good though. I'm excited. All right, everyone. I do hope you all have a great rest of your Tuesday. Can't believe how fast the day went by. My goodness, especially once you get into like a bug or something. Just like, I mean, I did have an extra long lunch, so don't hold that against me. See you, Sam. It was nice to be here with you. Same to you, Ariso. And thank you both. Thank you, Namaris, Ariso, for hanging out with me earlier today. We should be back in VR tomorrow, because tomorrow we will be putting the book to the side and starting a commission. So it'll be less baking, so I can actually do both things at once. Thank you for the stream. See you tomorrow for Picture Day. Indeed, Picture Day tomorrow. Looking forward to it. See you then. Enjoy the rest of your day, y'all. Goodbye, everyone. Less baking, but still cooking. Bye, everyone. Bye. Bye-bye.